So yeah, you're doing it again next week. Is there anything in that worries you ahead of next Saturday? Or are you out of your emotional vacuum you talked about before?
No, I mean we are out of that emotional vacuum, which is fantastic. I thought the second half performance, based on the way the first half finished in particular, was fantastic from us. You know, the way the guys rolled up their sleeves and kind of decided that the game was going to go our way was fantastic. Other things that worry me, definitely, the speed of some of the scores that Northampton had, particularly on the counter-attack, we'll have to have a very close look at. They found some space on the edge pretty easily there, and we failed to shut that off in the first half, but in the second half we shut it off fantastically well. So yeah, there's some things for us to work on, a little bit of match sharpness, which, you know, I've got to say we kind of had to be expected a little bit in the first half. There was a little bit of rustiness around a few things, wasn't there? A little bit of drop passes, a little bit of hesitancy in some of our passing and running onto the ball. But we worked our way through that, and we worked our way through it under a lot of pressure from Northampton, which is a great credit to the players. And I think we kind of grew in strength as the game went on, which is what I wanted to see. Because the first half was a bit of a stop-start affair, wasn't it? But once the game got flow in the second half, I thought we really came to the fore. Our line speed, our collision quality, set piece. There were so many kind of boxes that we ticked really well. The flip of that is now, you know, double headers are some of the hardest situations to deal with as a player and as a coach, and we've got to make sure that mentally we're bang on Monday to make sure that we're going to go out there and decide that we're going to fight for a final place. Not that, you know, the job's kind of done, because it's far from done. You know, Northampton are a very dangerous side. They showed that numerous times today. We're going to have to be prepared to work at least as hard again, if not harder, next week if we want to get to the final.
Can you talk through what your half-time team talk was, particularly given what happened at the end of the first half? Saints down to 13 men, and then.
Well, I think I'll be honest with you. The only real thing that you can say at that stage is, you know, if you're doing what we were doing at the end of the first half, and one moment flips a game almost from looking like it's a 2-score lead to being level, that's a moment. A moment shouldn't be the thing that hurts you in an overall performance. You know, if that moment had given them a big lead, you know, 2 or 3 score lead, it might have been different. But to say in a top 4 clash, which effectively the game was, Northampton coming and fighting for a semi-final spot, to be going in at half-time around about level, you know, there's not many games decided by half-time in big games. And so actually, you know, come on lads, it's one moment. Most of what we're doing, we're starting to get on the front foot here. We're starting to get control of territory and control of possession. Let's stick at it. Let's keep working. Let's show a bit of faith. And if anything, the lads almost even stepped it up even further. So the half-time talk wasn't a difficult one for us. It was one where, you know, all square at half-time. Now's the time to push on, and that's exactly what we did.
You talk about a bit of rustiness. Will one more game be enough to get you right for a final if you get there?
I think so, because there's been, most of those players have played a lot of rugby, so it's a little bit like a rustiness, but you're back on the horse quite quickly. And for most of these lads, you know, they'll be better next week and be sharper. They'll have a degree of confidence from this performance. You know, in fairness, Northampton have been one of the form teams in the Premiership, and we've got a 5-0 win. You know, if we were collecting these earlier in the season, everyone was thinking it was fantastic, and today it feels, like I say, a little bit rusty and not quite where we want it to be. But it's still a performance that we should be proud of, and one that we can certainly build on going forward. You know, we finished top of the Premiership. That doesn't happen by accident. We've got a home semi-final. That doesn't happen by accident. We've won an important game of rugby today. Those things don't happen by accident. They happen because guys work hard and they've prepared well, and they commit to things on a Saturday.
Alex Cuthbert came off in the second half. It looked like he was walking off quite gingerly. Has he got an injury, and if so, do we know what it is and how bad it is?
He has got something. From what we were saying, obviously it looked like a knee, and it started to stiffen up while he stayed on for a while, started to stiffen up. So it was a precaution to get him off. Obviously, it'd be one of those things until we get a scan on him on Monday. We won't really know the severity of it. At this stage, all the physios have reported there's a little bit of laxity in the knee. So we'll have to just wait and see how that shapes up.
Good to see Sam Simmons come back up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was one of those things, ideally now you look at it and think, it would have been nice to maybe get another 10 minutes into both Sam Skinner and Sam Simmons, but, it was a tough game. It was a well-contested game, and I'm just pleased that they're back on the field now and they're back up and running and playing. They'll have a great confidence in training now. Santiago Cordero is also close now, is taking a full part in training, so we're getting there. We're getting towards one of the strongest squads we've had out this season, and we've just got to pour some training minutes and game minutes into them.
Do you expect Hepburn to be available next week?
Yeah, Alec only kind of pulled out quite late. Didn't seem to be anything too major. We're fully expecting him to be in full training Monday, Tuesday.
You played Jack Noel at full back, and you had obviously Cuthbert on one side, and you've got Cordero who might come back, whether Cuthbert's fit or not.
Yeah.
How difficult is that balancing act of who to play where? Because you've got sort of 4 or 5 players to fill, if you include Phil Dorman and that, to fill effectively 3 spaces.
We'll just pick who we think is the best 3 out of the 5.
How do you think today's?
It's not a complex thing. I thought Cuthbert had a very good game. So, but obviously that might go by the by depending on the severity of the injury. I thought Woody grew. I thought early on he looked like he wanted to find a pair of lungs. There was a couple of times when he did a couple of long kick chases and then laid in a ruck like he was falling asleep at one stage to give away a penalty. So I think he'll have a couple of things to work on, but he'll be better for some game time and a good run around. Obviously Santi is just getting better day by day. Obviously it's a tough call bringing someone back from an injury and a long injury layoff, but he's getting there. Obviously Tom O'Flaherty's been very, very good for us in recent weeks as well. So we've got some options, as you say, Phil Dorman as well. We've got some options there. We've also still got the option of Joe Simmons has played some time at fullback this season in Premiership games, as has Slady. We've got plenty of options. We've got plenty of backs who are quality operators who can get on there and give us some cover and all across the back three.
You're going to be expected to win again. You're going to be expected to win again next week. Is that going to put a bit of undue pressure on you? Is that going to make it difficult to motivate them during the week?
Well, I think that's the challenge. I said I think that's the beauty of double headers. That's why they're also always so challenging, because everything says scoreboard wise that you would like a repeat next week. It never really works like that. Scoreboards are probably in a lot of ways the falsest measure of a performance. And that's why we've got to make sure we don't look at the scoreboard and feel comfortable. We actually look at our individual and collective performances and work on those things.
And now you've got into the play. Well, you've been in the playoffs for a while, but now you're coming down to these final 2 games. How much of the hurt from last year will be your motivation?
It's difficult. I mean, it's difficult to say that the team genuinely were hurt in the changing room after the final last year. I think the first year we lost it, I think there was not the same level of pain, because I think it was a remarkable year for us. First time in the top 4, home semi-final, first time we won that, getting to a final, first time in a final. And I don't think the pain was quite, I'm not going to say severe enough, but it was, the season ended having been a fantastic season for us, our best ever, more than we could have dreamed of 9-10 years ago. And the following year, obviously winning it was a great experience. But then last year, the boys genuinely hurt. I looked around the changing room and it was silent. It was silent and it was upset and it was a little angry, and I would like to think that those same players who felt probably they let themselves down a little bit last year will be some of the guys who stand up and start driving us over the next 2 weeks.